Hey, you're on the internet. You check out YouTube on occasion, right? Hopefully Wednesdays and Fridays. So you've likely bumped into the phrase or the term high value man. Do you have any thoughts on that? Well, I do. So today's episode is why you will never hear me use the phrase HVM or high value man or even high value woman for that matter, and why you should ignore the whole concept. In the world of matchmaking and coaching, it's a huge red flag when someone's referring to themselves as high value or stating that they want or desire in a partner somebody who's high value. I had someone reach out to me through my website last month describing who they were and what they were looking for in a partner, and I was very taken aback when I saw the term high value man in the message that they wrote to me. I don't know, assigning value or rating humans in general is so cringe. Can you imagine me saying, yeah, I'm a high value dating coach, or I'm a 9 out of 10 matchmaker, or I only work with high value men, women who are 6s and above only? Assigning value to oneself or anyone, yuck. To me, it's just so embarrassing all around. Have you ever heard a man refer to himself back in the day as an alpha male? Yeah, same vibe. Was that attractive to you as a woman? You know, maybe some things about us are better said by others. And even then, it's our choice as to whether we want to embrace that or discard it as a worthless opinion or even talk about it without any real meaning. So where did this high value stuff start? I can confirm that one place was right here on YouTube. At one time, there was a style and image guy who had a very popular YouTube channel. He started with fashion and image consulting for men, but was led by his audience down a rabbit hole into being a really polarizing figure who believed himself to be a hyper-masculine authority on strict gender roles. He talked about relationships, and he spent a lot of time chastising women for what he thought were high expectations on their part, ones that he thought were unrealistic, especially if these women weren't the epitome of society's beauty standards. You see what I'm getting at here. He talked about what he called women's sexual marketplace value. Yeah, I know, really misogynistic. So he's since passed away, in his early 50s actually, and at the height of his success. But some of his big talking points obviously continue on without him. So what is the online definition of a high value man? Well, I found this on the interwebs here, so I'll read that to you. A high value man is the epitome of masculinity, leadership, charm, and sophistication. He is a man of means and influence, loved by women, revered by men, and moves gallantly through the challenges of life with courage and pride. You could probably see how some men would be happy to identify with this and think of themselves in this way, but who would have the nerve to actually say any of this out loud? And I found this. He's the guy that other men want to be and the partner that women want. His loyalty, self-assuredness, and natural qualities of leadership make this man a unicorn. I like using my glasses as a statement. He's magical. He's almost mythical. And he does this all because he's the ultimate role model. A unicorn man that turns life into art because he's always driven to reach a state of wellness in everything he does. It's mortifying, right? The women I've worked with for over a decade, they want a man, not a unicorn. That's for little girls. I've met thousands of men in my lifetime and gotten to know them on a really unique level being a matchmaker. I've had clients who have possessed movie star good looks and many who have been multimillionaires, but I've never met a man who fits that definition of high value. Why? Because it's not real. The concept was created to sell books, gain viewers, followers, subscribers, create controversy, and maybe to dupe people into feeling that they're less than or not worthy so that they can probably be sold something. Sadly, it also gives some men an excuse as to why they're never going to attract a woman or their queen. We can't talk about the word queen here because that's a whole new conversation. But I ask you, women, who wants to be on a pedestal, wearing a crown, and worshipped when you could instead be at your man's side, treated as their equal, in a romantic partnership, sharing a life of your making together. This conversation begs that we talk briefly, though, about toxic masculinity, because that's often where you're going to find these ugly ways of defining and ranking people. If you don't know those two words together, don't bother Googling it, please. It's sad, misguided, and negative. It's a rabbit hole on the internet that I can sum up for you with this. It's a subculture characterized by deep resentment, hostility, definitely misogyny, self-loathing, and mostly a sense of entitlement, and then blaming the women and the highly successful men in what they consider to be a rigged game. Honestly, it's a world of pickup artists posing as self-help for men and narcissistic human males who are okay with generalizing about an entire gender, actually about both genders, and who will degrade women, claiming that they value looks and money over all else. Occasionally, you'll see a comment and recognize this attitude. I always think if it's an argument that I win, because I've had a dozen years of talking to men hoping to find a partner, men with varying levels of attractiveness and income, and I've never not been able to match those men with somebody who has enjoyed meeting them. But keep in mind, I am not taking on any clients who are bitter, angry, mean, and most of all, show signs of entitlement. So if you have to tell me or anyone that you're valuable, I'd be a little concerned, and professionally concerned that we're just not going to be able to find a match for you. And the term isn't just thrown about in terms of men. You can find lots of videos on YouTube by dating coaches talking about high-value women, too. Interesting to me that some of these coaches have only ever coached on YouTube as a creator of videos. And that's not always bad. If you find somebody who's really insightful and has good common sense and a personality you enjoy, then that's going to work out great. But if they're tossing about this high-value man or woman phrase, I'm going to suggest you take a closer look at those credentials. As you may have noticed, I am a woman and I work with hundreds of women every year. My gals, the ones that are my clients who are being matched or coached, or my women who are being considered to be matched with one of my male clients, these are the opinions that I value. The humans in the trenches who I get to interview and question about all things love, relationships, values, and desires on a daily basis. Just watch any of my episodes on what women want, and it's these women that I'm referencing. Do women want a high-value man? No. For sure, being a human, we all notice looks, and we want someone we find attractive. We're not going to pick a partner or choose to partner with somebody who repulses us, man or woman. Will women only choose to be matched with and only fall for a fellow with a lot of money or earning power? In fairness, nobody is hoping to find somebody without a job or without any prospects. And nobody finds a lack of ambition super sexy. But self-esteem, a man who's responsible, assertive, and has emotional intelligence, and don't forget confident, he's always going to trump a guy who has a beautiful face and a fat wallet and is a jerk. So the phrase high-value man is transactional and quantifiable. Does that sound like anything you even want to be thinking about in a relationship or when you're choosing a partner? For most people, really not at all. Any person who thinks they're better than another group or another person, or hopes to be considered more valuable, or has a mind that even works in that way, isn't going to show up in my roster or on my coaching schedule. My question for you is, would you be willing to date somebody who thinks in this way? Or would you prefer someone who's more focused on finding out who you are as an individual without the need to categorize or label or put people in a box? Do you know the word mensch? Yiddish word. As a matchmaker, I think I should share this with you. Roughly, it means a good person. The word's migrated as a loan word into English. A mensch is known to most people as a particularly good person, kind of like a stand-up guy. A person with qualities that you'd hope for in a friend. So since I'm a dating coach, I'm going to offer and end with this advice. Be a mensch. Date a mensch. And if you choose to get married, make sure that you marry a mensch. That's where you're going to find real value. Maybe you want to check out this episode on the alpha male that I created a while back. Just click on it right here. I hope you found that interesting. If you did, Mom's reminding you to hit the like button. Don't forget to also subscribe on your way out, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, thanks for being here, and have a good one.